What happens when a woman whose heartbreak was once devoured by the world finally decides she's done performing her pain? What happens when she stops explaining, stops defending, stops rushing, and simply starts choosing herself? The answer is the love story almost nobody predicted, but everyone now understands. Miley Cyrus and Maxx Morando. Engaged not because it was expected, not because it was glamorous, but because it was right. And because it was quiet. This is not the engagement Hollywood is used to. There was no pap walk staged outside a celebrity hotspot. No ring reveal crafted for a viral moment. No dramatic posts, no coded captions, no marketing rollout disguised as romance. Instead, it was built the same way Miley rebuilt her life, slowly, intentionally, and without noise. The truth is, this engagement did not begin with a ring, it began with a pause. After her divorce from Liam Hemsworth in early 2020, Miley Cyrus did something radical for someone raised in chaos. She disappeared into herself. For years, she lived a life measured in headlines, breakups, reconciliations, impulsive choices, bold statements, and world-touring emotions. She and Liam grew up together, fell apart together, tried again together, married quickly, and dissolved even faster, all while every moment was public property. The world watched their heartbreak like a series finale. But this time, Miley didn't give the public anything to chew on. No explanations. No defensiveness. No play-by-play. If there were betrayals or breakpoints, she let the music speak, not interviews, and the world listened. The pain was real, but the processing was private. That silence became the turning point. Instead of collapsing into another intense romance, Miley stepped back. Not for a month, not for a season, for years. She dated casually, but nothing that demanded rearranging her identity. She worked. She learned boundaries. She healed. She stopped confusing chaos with passion, stopped mistaking intensity for intimacy, stopped giving pieces of herself away to relationships that only knew how to consume. This pause created someone new, or maybe it revealed the person she always was beneath the noise. Her artistry changed too. The rebellious shock factor softened into control. The sound evolved. The edge sharpened. Miley's voice matured, but more importantly, her choices matured with it. Songs weren't weapons or shields anymore. They were reflections. They were honest. They were free. And in that grounded silence, in that version of Miley that didn't need to shout anymore, Maxx Morando quietly entered the picture. Maxx was not a name designed for tabloid circulation. He wasn't a movie star. He wasn't a heartthrob packaged for headlines. He wasn't even trying to be famous. Long before he ever appeared next to Miley, Maxx was working in LA's indie scene, drumming for The Regrets and later Lily. He lived behind drum kits and inside studios. He built his reputation through rhythm, not exposure. He cared about craft, not cameras. Their meeting wasn't orchestrated. It wasn't strategic. It was two musicians crossing paths in 2021 through people who understood sound. No red carpet, no PR handoff. Just a conversation that clicked without effort. And that was the secret. Nothing about them required effort. They didn't fall into an instant romance. They fell into resonance. Music was their first language. Not the performances, the process, the structure, the discipline, a language only musicians truly understand. The kind of communication that doesn't need translation because the vibration itself carries the meaning. Miley respected his talent. Maxx respected her experience, not the fame, the work. They connected artist to artist, not star to admirer. That balance was rare in her world. And as they grew closer, something fascinating happened. The world barely noticed. No chaotic PDA, no dramatic breakups, no coded lyrics aimed at exes. Their relationship didn't live online. It lived in rooms they didn't photograph. Every time fans caught glimpses, walking into a show, sitting together at an event, smiling quietly on the sidelines, Maxx looked grounded, not intimidated by her power, not overwhelmed by her presence. Just steady, present, comfortable in the orbit without trying to control it. For a woman like Miley, loud, expressive, unpredictable in the most authentic way, comfort mattered more than chemistry. For years, partners either tried to shrink her or drowned in her energy. Maxx didn't either. He let her be big without ever disappearing himself. As she opened up about him in interviews, something was different. No theatrics, no sensationalism, just genuine admiration. She spoke about what she learned from him, about collaboration, about playfulness returning to her work, about how music felt fun again. Then came Endless Summer Vacation, not just a Miley album, but a creative space where Maxx also left fingerprints. Tracks like Handstand and Violet Chemistry held pieces of him. It wasn't a celebrity couple collaboration. It was a partnership born from mutual respect. Meanwhile, Miley continued choosing peace. She stopped overperforming for fame. She stopped touring in a way that drained her. She prioritized her emotional safety. Nothing about her choices felt like retreat. Everything felt like clarity. By the time Flowers took over the world, the global anthem of independence wasn't aspirational. It was her reality. Miley wasn't reclaiming herself. She was living as herself, and Maxx was a part of that life, but not the center of it. He wasn't her escape. He wasn't her crisis. He wasn't her rebellion. He was her alignment. They moved in together quietly. They built routines. They blended artistry with normalcy. They created a life boring enough to be beautiful. So when Miley appeared wearing a ring, it wasn't a shock. It felt like the natural next step in a relationship that grew at human speed, not celebrity speed. This engagement didn't come with a grand reveal. It didn't arrive with a storyline. It simply existed, the way healthy relationships do. Friends close to them describe Miley now as grounded, light, stable. Words almost never used for her romantic life before. They describe Maxx as loyal, gentle, private, deeply creative, and deeply steady. Someone who doesn't hold her back and doesn't get lost in her shadow. Someone who knows how to love without spotlight. This is the kind of love Miley once didn't know she could have. When she talks now, in interviews, in performances, in behind-the-scenes clips, there's a softness, a quiet certainty, a steadiness. She doesn't sound like someone proving she's healed. She sounds like someone who did the work and now simply lives in the result. Maxx matches that energy effortlessly. He doesn't overshadow. He doesn't shrink. He doesn't try to manage her. He doesn't need to compete. He shows up. That's enough. No age gap discourse. No status imbalance commentary. No power dynamic narrative. Their connection made those conversations irrelevant because it was built on equality of spirit, not equality of fame. The truth is, Miley's past relationships were passionate, explosive, poetic, but also unstable. Fire meeting fire. Sparks everywhere. Burns inevitable. With Maxx, the fire found rhythm, structure, balance, heat without destruction. This engagement isn't a fairy tale. It's something rarer, a mature love story. Not built to impress. Not built for attention. Not built in the aftermath of a breakup. Built privately, steadily, grown instead of rushed. Two musicians who found the same tempo after years of playing in different worlds. A ring didn't create the commitment. It acknowledged what was already there. This time, Miley didn't have to fight for the relationship. She didn't have to defend it. She didn't have to rebuild herself inside it. If stories built on healing matter more to you than viral gossip, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who knows that the quietest chapters often hold the biggest truths.